I hired a private investigator and I found my husband's affair. That's one way to find out. This story was first posted December 24th, 2024. Christmas Eve. That's what you're doing on Christmas Eve? That sucks. My husband, male 47, and I, female 44. I've been married for just over a decade, and it has been, for the most part, a loving marriage centered around our 2 beautiful children. Of course, I've had grievances. He travels a lot for work, is constantly glued to his phone, and sometimes would abruptly pop out for errands that he always has been incredibly vague about. Initially, these didn't concern me too much. He has a very demanding job that has always allowed us to have a lifestyle I never thought possible, meant that I could leave work to be with the children, take us on wonderful holidays, send the children to a great school. I always felt that complaining to him about his work, phone, computer, and random emergencies would be so selfish considering everything he does for us. However, 2 weeks ago, I started getting really suspicious after I had found a rubber in the inside pocket of his blazer. Used? Well, I'm pretty sure he's not putting a used one in his pocket. You never know though. The world does not surprise me these days. Anyways, there is no reason for him to have it there as we only ever have sex at home, and frankly, it isn't something we do as often as we used to. This prompted me to do something I never thought I would do, but I found an opportunity to get into his phone when he wasn't looking. Do your own little investigation. I'm not sure what I was looking for. I first looked at his photos, but couldn't find anything. Then I thought I would check his messages apps, WhatsApp and Telegram. Both were password locked, which I found very odd. Only iMessage could be accessed, but there was barely anything there. At this point, I had a sinking feeling that something was up. Last year, a friend was in a similar situation and used a digital investigator to learn more about her absent and secretive fiance. The investigator found out that this man had been living a complete double life with a long-term girlfriend in Edinburgh, and unbelievably, a whole business he had set up and was earning money from. She had no idea about the business or all the money that he was earning from it, and no doubt spending on his girlfriend. It's crazy when you hear those stories and you're like, how did you not know? There's some really good liars out there. I've seen a lot of documentaries. They're convincing, I guess. I asked for the investigators' details and requested that they pull together anything and everything that they could find about my husband. The investigators spent about a week digging online and came back to me with a report that changed my life forever. I'm so nervous, even though we know how this ends. I got a call from the investigator warning me that my husband's report would be very difficult to read and that I should open it in private at a time when I'd be able to process it fully. Oh boy. Since I received it, I've barely been able to eat, sleep, properly take care of our kids, or speak to him. And yet he is so absent-minded that he doesn't even realize something is wrong. It turns out that my husband of over 10 years has been, are we ready? Number 1, having an affair with a woman 15 years his junior. How old is he? 47. Okay. Number 2, financing this woman's lifestyle and her failed business venture. Number 3, attending sex parties with her where they have sex with other partners. Number 4, posting in a revolting online sex forum, including pictures of his and details his addiction to corn, which on here means adult videos, not literal corn, and escorts to his creepy online friends. He's living a double life. And number 5, based on these posts online, has clearly been spending thousands on escorts as far back as 7 years ago. They really say that sometimes you don't even know a person, even if you're married to them for 10 years. I have no idea where to go from here. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to confront him about this or if I should see a lawyer first. I know the obvious decision is to simply divorce, but our children are 9 and 7. You know what? You're doing the right thing by considering the children. My mind is just like, get out of there. Divorce. I have loved him since we first met 14 years ago, and I know that I have a place in his heart too, in spite of these actions. If he is truly an addict, then maybe there's a way to get through this if he agrees to treatment. I'm gonna bite my tongue on that one. I am a complete mess and I can't talk about this to anyone in person just yet. Any advice you have for me would be really appreciated. There is an update. Y'all already know my opinion. My opinion is divorce. There's no second chance here. However, there's some people who believe that people can change. So let me know. Grab your beverage before we get to the next part. We're hopping on hydration station. Cheers. You know, I really do stay extra hydrated when filming because of hydration station. The next update came February 3rd, 2025, 1.5 months later. Firstly, I'd just like to thank almost every single one of you who has commented to leave me advice or message me privately. I took a lot of advice on board, especially legally speaking, and this has proven to be of great benefit. I apologize for my long absence and lack of replies. I hope the update below can explain it. I chose to wait until after New Year's as I did not want to rob the children of one last Christmas and New Year's holiday as a family. In the meantime, I researched solicitors and sought recommendations from trusted friends. Rather humiliatingly, I did, after much urging on this website, also schedule and go through with an STI test. I didn't even think about that. Yep, great idea. It was horrifically embarrassing, but I am relieved to say that it came negative. A win is a win. I don't know how I could have coped if he had gotten me sick because of his revolting actions. He made my job increasingly easy by flying out for a work trip. Not that anything he says could ever be trusted. On the 2nd, and I immediately got the ball rolling. I met with the solicitor, packed up all of his belongings into 6 suitcases, had the locks changed, and spoke to a child psychologist to work out the best way to explain these things to the kids, who are far too young to understand the full picture, of course. That's great. That's great for the kids. Fast forward to a week later, and upon his return, I, having made sure the children were picked up by my mother after school, greeted him in a hallway full of suitcases and divorce papers. That's a scene from a movie right there. I had printed out the report in full and started walking him through it before he started breaking down in tears. It was a compulsion, in quotations. He was unbelievably stressed, and that if I left him, he would have no choice but to marry the other woman, whereas he would end it immediately if I were to take him back. Wow. It's almost like, I don't care, and you can go marry her. You were already with her anyway, sir. The last part was truly the nail in the coffin. I don't think he even realized just how manipulative a comment that was to make. After hours of back and forth of his groveling, he gave up. He was left at the bottom of the stairs in the entrance to our home with his suitcases, waiting for a cab to take him to God knows where. There's still a lengthy legal process ahead, and unfortunately, it turns out that him being unfaithful, etc., doesn't really impact how assets might be divided following the legal battle. There should be a cheater's tax. Wouldn't that be great? Like a little fine. If you cheat in your marriage, this is the fine you owe the other person. However, I'm confident that my solicitor will get the outcome I need to keep the house and live independently. In terms of the children, I would rather not discuss them so as to keep it private, but it has been an incredibly difficult adjustment, and sometimes I do feel guilty. As for myself, I'm still completely heartbroken, and frankly, I don't ever hope to find love again. I just think I can't quite trust like that again. Finally, I'd like to add that while most comments have been lovely and supportive, I did get a number of comments and private messages blaming me for my soon-to-be ex's behavior, claiming that I did not give him sufficient sexual attention and that I shouldn't complain because he provided me with a certain lifestyle. Firstly, these comments are awful and betray a repulsive worldview with regards to sex, intimacy, and marriage. Secondly, our ailing sex life was not my doing and was at times a criticism I myself had in our relationship, not the other way around. Thirdly, just because someone provides you with a lifestyle doesn't entitle you to treat them as if you're nothing, with no respect and no honesty. I would have hoped all would be aware of that. I hate when people use that as an excuse. Oh, we're not being intimate, so I looked elsewhere. You can look elsewhere, but you can leave leave the person first. You can express, I need more, this is what I want, this is what I need. And if it's not working out, you can leave and then go and do whatever you're gonna do as a single man. We do have a final update that came on February 20th, 2.5 weeks later. I thought that was it. I never imagined that a single Reddit post would change my life in such a profound way. To everyone who commented, messaged, and supported me, thank you. Your advice, encouragement, and even tough love gave me the clarity and strength I desperately needed. I am really sorry if I appeared to have ignored some of your comments and DMs. I just wanted to thank you all and to leave this final update. I will check and try to respond to messages and comments as much as I can. In the weeks following my last update, I have been navigating a completely new reality. The legal process is still ongoing, and while my solicitor has warned me that things could get complicated, I am standing my ground. I want a clean break, financial security for my children, and a future where I am no longer tethered to a man who deceived me in every way imaginable. The fact that his infidelity does not significantly impact the division of assets is a bitter pill to swallow, but I will not let it deter me from seeking what is fair. Thankfully, some aspects of his actions that the investigator uncovered will impact his case negatively. Emotionally, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever endured. The betrayal still cuts deep, and some nights I find myself questioning everything. I repeatedly keep going on over our years together, trying to pinpoint where I missed the signs, where I ignored my instincts. The truth is, I may never fully understand why he did what he did, but I finally come to accept that his actions were never a reflection of my worth. I was not lacking. I was not failing. He was. I need to just put that in a little envelope and mail that to so many people out there who need to hear it. I won't, but I should. Since our separation, my soon-to-be ex-husband has fluctuated between remorseful and then completely delusional. One day, he's begging for another chance, promising to change, telling me he will attend therapy and fight for our family. Next, he's enraged that I have ruined his life and taken away the stability that he had with our children. Your actions did that, actually. He has tried to paint himself as the victim, conveniently glossing over his years of deceit and betrayal. At one point, he even suggested that we could remain partners, but live separate lives. His way of trying to have his cake and eat it too. The most frustrating part has been when he makes an argument that this was a mental health issue or an additional issue. Actually, it is 100% an entitlement issue. I have a lot of supportive people on here to thank for making that very clear to me at a time when I was doubting this. The manipulation has been exhausting. He has reached out to mutual friends, attempting to garner sympathy and twist the narrative. I've had to set firm boundaries and remind myself that I owe him nothing. The man I thought I knew is gone, if he ever truly existed at all. His behavior in the past few weeks has only reinforced my decision to walk away for good. For those wondering about co-parenting, it is a work in progress. I won't share too much for privacy reasons, but he is currently on supervised visits while we establish a longer-term agreement. The children are adjusting as best as they can, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep their lives as stable as possible. We can just tell. She's a good mom. They are my focus now, and their well-being is my only priority. As for myself, I am healing, slowly but surely. I have reconnected with old friends, thrown myself into activities that bring me joy, and even started to look toward the future with something resembling hope. I won't lie, trusting again feels impossible right now. Love, at least the kind I believed in, feels like a distant and naive concept. That makes me so sad. But I also know that I'm stronger than I ever thought I was, and that gives me faith that I will rebuild in time in my own way. I could have never imagined getting through this when I had made my first post. Here I am, sort of, on the other end of it, still just about standing. To those who may find themselves in a similar situation, please trust your instincts. Do not gaslight yourself into ignoring the signs. If you don't have 100% certainty, find a way of getting it like I did. Either try to gather evidence yourself that you can use in court, or hire a PI/investigator like I did. And most importantly, remember the betrayal does not define you. How you rise from it does. This is my final update. I'm closing this chapter of my life for good. Thank you all truly for being part of my journey. I mean, I'm really sad for her, but I feel like this is going to be a big blessing in disguise for her. I think she's going to be empowered. I think she's going to have a fresh start. And if she ends up with someone, I really hope it's not someone who's going to do this. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.